Hey guys, Teresa here. Welcome back to my channel, Lost My Thread. Today I'm going to be updating you with everything I made in the month of June. June was something of a quieter month for me. I don't have as many finished things to show you guys, so I feel like this should be a bit of a shorter video. I will talk first about what I sewed. I will then talk about some works in progress. I'll give updates on my 24 for 2024 and then give a general life update. As always, there's chapters down below if you want to skip ahead to different sections. In the month of June, I was very much focused on fruity fabrics because I wanted to make some things for the So Fruity challenge, which is hosted by Blossom Sandwich, Yvette. I've always watched that challenge from the sidelines and been really jealous I didn't have any fruity fabrics to join in. I have definitely been on a bit of a fruity fabric kick, so I felt like I was pretty set up that I thought I could make some things, and I've got 3 things that I made that were fruity themed. The first one is, I think, my favorite blouse now. It's my favorite ever blouse that I've made. I absolutely love it. It is this Anthea blouse by Anna Allen. Now, I've made the Anthea blouse before, but I did a hack of it where there was a lower neckline and there was a shorter puff sleeve, which I also really like. I think in future I might lower the neckline a little bit because it is slightly on the higher side for me, but honestly, I love how this turned out. I need to show you the fabric because that's probably a big part of it. This is Fabric Godmother print fabric. It's a viscose linen blend and it is definitely more on the linen side and it feels more of like a linen, but it has a bit of that drape because of the viscose. The print is obviously gorgeous. It's based on a vintage print, but they updated the colors to be a bit more modern and I love the colors so much. I will say I was a bit nervous about making a cream colored top because, you know, things spill. I didn't want to make a mess. So far, so good. I haven't had any spillages. I will say I do like to wear this with the top button unbuttoned, but because there's interfacing going down the button placket, it doesn't really stay open all that well. So like I said, I think I would just slightly lower the neckline in the future. But in general, I feel like the shape and the style of this are just perfect. I feel like the fabric complements the fabric complements the pattern complements the fabric. Now I will say that this was totally stolen from the Fabric Godmother. So the owner of Fabric Godmother, Josie, has made this exact blouse and she wears it often in videos on Instagram. I've seen it up when I went to the Stitch Festival. Might have been the knitting and stitching show. I literally can never remember which is which. But anyway, the one that's in the spring, I went and I saw this blouse made up and I felt the fabric and that was what tipped me over the edge. This fabric is so beautiful and wonderful to work with. It is really light and breathable. It is really stable for a slippery fabric. It's really not slippery because of the viscose content. You thought it might be, or I thought it might be, but it's much more of like working with linen. It presses really well. It holds a poof really nicely because there's quite a lightness to it. It's more of a lightweight linen feel, but with a little bit of viscose added. It is incredibly soft. It feels like really beautiful quality fabric. I have bought more of this fabric because they've now put it out in like other like plain solids and I love it so much. But this blouse, it's just, to me, it's perfect. I love the poof of the sleeve. In the instructions, they tell you that you can press the seams toward the sleeves to give a little bit of extra poof, which is perfection. There's a gather onto the cuff. What I will say I really like about this as well is that the cuff is quite roomy. I have had tops before. The Norma blouse by Fiber Mood, thinking of, is kind of a similar shape or kind of similar style, but with a V-neck. But that one, the cuff is actually really quite tight on me. I don't know that I particularly have big arms, but I have probably the upper part of my forearm is a bit significantly bigger than my wrist, let's just say. And I do find that that one can be a bit tight and uncomfortable at times if I move around. This one is really nice and roomy. What I will say about it that's just kind of perfect for me is when I'm at work, I need to be bare below the elbows. I'm not allowed to have things going beyond my elbows when I'm giving clinical care. I'm a midwife, if you don't know. And when I stand, this blouse sits just kind of at my forearm, kind of halfway down the forearm. But when I move my arms up, because it's got quite a loose cuff, it just slides really nicely past my elbow, so it's never in the way when I'm trying to do things clinically. It's kind of magic, and I definitely want to make more of this blouse in the future. I'm not sure any are going to surpass the one in this fabric though, because it is just so pretty. It is so sweet. I have gotten lots of compliments on this already. I feel like it's definitely going to be a huge staple. It goes with lots of bottoms that I have in my wardrobe and more that I have planned. It's such a winner. The next fruity make I want to talk about isn't a garment, but it's more of like an accessory, I guess, like a home item. And that is this apron. Now it's difficult to show you, I know, in full, and you will be seeing pictures, but there's a lot going on this apron. It is definitely quite an over-the-top apron, I think, in the best possible way. This all started because I had an old apron that I got from Anthropologie. It was getting very sad, very stained. There were bleach stains, other like food stains. I'd had it for so many years and I use it for anything and everything. But I felt like when I was baking in it, it just seemed kind of sad. When I was cooking in it, when I was wearing it basically. And I thought, you know what, I need something that's more of my kitchen apron. That can be my other like work around the house, get messy apron still. But I wanted something that would make me feel happy and would excite me to do some nice fun stuff in the kitchen. This one definitely fit the bill. So this really also came from this lemon print that I picked up at a fabric swap at the beginning of last year. So this has been on my mind in process since then. I really like this lemon print, but it is really not a great color for me. But in all honesty, it's just a fun apron for the kitchen, so I wasn't too fussed about that. But I knew I didn't want just this fabric. I wanted to break it up with some other fabrics. Wasn't quite sure what to do. It's a cotton linen blend fabric. It's really lovely and bright. I went to Sew Me Sunshine just to have a look around and see if they had anything that I thought would work well with it. Had a chat with Harriet, the owner, and she helped me to pick out some really fun contrasting fabrics. So what I've been wanting to do, honestly for years, I've been really curious to play around with what's called pattern clashing, which is basically when you have two very different types of patterns but with overlapping colors. So they don't look like they should work together, but they surprise you when they do work together. It's a fun idea, and I felt like working on that concept on an apron would be a little bit less intimidating. And so that's where I ended up with these other fabrics. So this fabric, I've suddenly gone blank on the designer of this fabric. I'll put it up on the screen. You guys probably already know and are shouting it out at me. That's a cotton, quilting cotton fabric. And then this is a linen, this green fabric. I felt like it really brought something out as well. So the overall design was very much based on the original one that I had. So I looked at the shape and how it fit me. There was actually a little bit of like gap of like excess fabric in the center. So I took out a little bit from the center front after I kind of traced out on a piece of paper, and I looked at where it fit, kind of going down my body, basically copied and made amendments to make it even better fit for me. And then I added obviously this waistband. I had multiple tiers on there because I wanted to have lots of this fabric. I wanted it to be really fun. I wanted it to swish around like a proper skirt. So I gathered, how many tiers do I have? 1, 2, 3 tiers on the bottom of this, alternating the different fabrics. It was definitely a whole lot of gathering going on. It did take some time, but it was so worth it. The other thing that I had noticed with the original is that the sides of the apron didn't cover fully my hips. So that meant that occasionally if my hands were a little dirty or I brushed against something, then the clothes I was wearing underneath were getting dirty on the side of my hip. And I thought, why not just extend this? And yes, the idea is it kind of looks like a dress, so why not just go for it? And so I wrapped it all the way around so it ties on the back and I have full coverage. The bonus of that is I get to twirl around, I get to swish around, and I feel like I'm wearing a fun dress over the top of whatever else I'm wearing, whether it's pajamas or even a different dress. It has been so much fun to wear this apron. I really do love it. I included some patch pockets on the front as well, and I did debate on whether I wanted to use more of like a different fabric on the top, but I decided there was enough going on there that I would just go with the matching fabric but use a fun contrast stitching. So I've got some contrasting stitching over the top, which I feel like pops really nicely. In general, I'm so happy with how this turned out. It was such a fun foray into the pattern clashing and something that I would like to try again at some point in the future. I was surprised with how much I love this, and I feel like it's just really brightened my time in the kitchen. It makes me really happy to put it on. I've been baking some brownies earlier today and life is good. The last fruity finished make that I have is actually no longer with me. I've sent it off to my mom for her birthday. So Mom, if you are watching this and you haven't gotten it yet, please just skip ahead or just switch this video off. You don't want any spoilers. I did mention that I was planning to make this shirt for my mom before. It is a really beautiful fabric that I picked up at the Pattern Emporium stall at the Stitch Festival. I'm pretty sure it was a Stitch Festival. I put it up on the screen if it wasn't Stitch Festival in London earlier this year. I really wanted to get something for my mom that'd be great for the summer, and I felt like this fabric was so good. I love cotton double gauze in the summer. It's such a great breathable fabric, but it also doesn't make you too cool if you go into like air conditioning somewhere a little bit cooler. The idea is I wanted to make her a shirt that she could either wear buttoned up or she could wear it open, because when I'd been with her in Chicago, she was pointing out seeing some button-up shirts that were open over like tank top, short sleeve, and she was saying, oh, that's a cute look. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna take note and remember that. The pattern that I went for was the Gilbert top by Helen's Closet. It's a pattern that I've made before. It's a very simple like camp style collar shirt, really easy to make, really nice finish with a fully enclosed yoke. You use the burrito method to put it together. It's a really nice pattern. I definitely highly recommend that one. I didn't make a whole lot of modifications. The only thing I did was lengthen it by a couple of inches, because I know my mom prefers to have her shirts on the longer side. Even though I feel like this shirt is plenty long, I wanted to give her extra room just to make sure that she'd be happy with it. I love the print. I feel like it is so fun for the shirt. The buttons that I used were from Ethel and Joan, and they are the most amazing neon orange color. They pop so well against that really fun fabric. I think this is a really nice shirt. I think it should be really comfortable. I feel like it should work really well in the summer, and I'm hoping that it fits her well. I'm hoping that she loves it. I have made her a fruity print t-shirt before that I know she wears a ton, so I'm really hoping that she will also enjoy this fruity print shirt. I have just one work in progress, which is my standing tall quilt. If you guys are not familiar, I am hosting a quilt along with Sarah of Sew Sarah Sewed. We are encouraging people to make the Cedar Quilt Go standing tall quilt. The idea is that you guys will be making the quilt with us, and we are giving regular prompts to try and help keep people on a timeline. It's not a strict timeline. If you fall behind, if you want to get ahead, that's all good. You could definitely still leap on as well. I think we've given a pretty decent length of time if you still want to take part and you haven't done it already. At the beginning of this, we did make a video just introducing and explaining it. Sarah uploaded a video recently as well with us just giving updates, but also sharing photos of everybody in the community's quilts as they're coming along. It is one of my favorite videos, guys. If you have not seen it, it really, to me, feels like just hanging out with a sewing friend, which is basically literally what it was. But I feel like you get that same vibe when you're watching and we're, you know, having fun and laughing and oogling each other's fabrics. It's a really nice video that I will put a link to up here and down in the comments or in the description if you haven't seen it already. I really do love how my quilt pieces are coming together, how it's starting to look, and I feel that leads very perfectly into my 24 for 2024 update. If you guys have not heard about this, this is 24 things I want to do in 2024. I'll put a link to the video up here and down below as well about me discussing and explaining what those 24 things are, but I can give some updates. So the first thing on the list was to sew a quilt for myself, and I'm not finished, but I've definitely been making progress. I've got this quilt along, so I feel like it's gonna happen. I'm gonna be finishing it in July as the timeline would suggest, but I'm definitely on track. The other thing to update on is my haiku books. So this is the Haiku Volume 2 Spring by RH Blythe. These are my favorite haiku books. They're really wonderful books, and I wanted to read one per season. As you can see, I was reading the spring one in the spring season, which I have now finished. I've moved on to the summer one, and I'll be putting some haiku down below that I particularly liked from this volume. A lot of the things on that list are more just I'm going to be doing gradually throughout the year, though there are a handful of things that are specific that I have plans for. One to mention is that in this month, July, I'm planning to do a taster pottery throwing class. This is something that I've been really wanting to do, but I wasn't quite sure if I'd be able to do it because of my hand and my wrist, which I feel like then leads well into my life update section. A lot of you will know that I've been having some ongoing problems with my hand and my wrist. I do feel like in general my symptoms have really kind of plateaued. I wouldn't say that it's impacting me hugely on the day-to-day, but I definitely still get a lot of pain if I'm handwriting or I'm using a computer mouse or typing for too long. So it's definitely really difficult for me for work. I also can't lift very much because I get pain in the hand and the wrist. So again, that's having a major impact on my day-to-day. As far as my crafting and things, the only things that I'm still not able to do because of it is knitting and hand sewing. I can do like a button on a shirt, but I wouldn't be doing much more than that. So it is something that I don't feel happy with where I am. I have seen my consultant surgeon again. He is definitely, I think, a bit baffled, and I feel like he's seeing me as a bit of a challenge. They've done loads of blood tests. We're gonna do some additional MRI scans. I'm gonna see another specialist. But basically, it's, you know, it's one of those things. It's still taking its time, but I feel like I'm getting a little bit more used to it as it is. I'm not happy to just leave it as it is, but I feel like I'm able to still live a happy life despite all of that going on. The one other life update thing that I will share is what's going on in my living room. So I have mentioned that my husband and I have ordered our first ever sofa that we have purchased that wasn't a hand-me-down, even though we've been married for 20 years. We're very excited to be getting the new sofa. However, we definitely had a bit of a snag. So initially when we had planned to have it delivered, we also were going to be having a small IKEA armchair delivered. So we were going to have like a corner sofa, like a chaise lounge, basically, so like a 3-seater with a little bit sticking off the end on the right. It would fit nicely into the corner. It seemed like it would make sense for the space that we have. Unfortunately, we had all of our furniture, previous furniture, removed the day before the stuff was all meant to arrive. The day the furniture came, the sofa would not fit through the door. I know this is a total rookie error because this is the first time we've ordered a sofa, but I can tell you we were really frustrated and really disappointed. The delivery guys did really try to get it into the door, and there was just no way. Where we live, you have to go into the door and then directly upstairs because we're an apartment upstairs, and it wouldn't make that turn. There was just no way. It was too long. What we had thought, because we're looking for like basically a 3-seat with an end sticking out on one end. We thought we had a 2x2 sectional, but it was a 3 with a little one bit at the end, and that was the issue. So we had to go back to the drawing board, went around to a whole lot more sofa shops, home decor shops, and ended up going back to the first sofa that we both saw that we really liked. It was on the pricier side, but it was definitely one that we know we really like, and it is definitely a 2x2. As I'm sitting here recording this, I am waiting for the delivery guys to arrive pretty much as soon as I finish this video. So I'm really crossing everything that it's all going to come together well. But my husband and I have had 2 weeks with no sofas. So our living room has been a little bit sad. We did get our IKEA armchair. So we have one chair and we have my closet core poof that I have made. And we're basically taking turns sitting in the chair. It's been pretty funny. Occasionally when we have a movie night, we kind of put some blankets out and some pillows out, which is quite cozy anyway, but we are both really looking forward to having a sofa, and one that I think we're both gonna really truly love. We've been bringing in some other items into our living room, like different lamps with really nice colored lampshades. I feel like the whole thing is gonna look great once it's all together, and I'm hoping by the end of the day, we're gonna be a lot closer. As we started July, things have felt definitely a little bit rocky. I've had some car trouble. My car broke down on my way to work one day. Fortunately, I managed to get it going and now it's been repaired. But things have definitely felt a little bit up in the air and a little bit uneasy. And I am looking forward to hopefully a period of calm. I know I'm not alone in having these kinds of tribulations being thrown at you and keeping you on your toes. And I know that well and truly the issues that I'm having are minor everyday things. And I'm grateful that the bigger picture, things are well with me, things are well with my family. I really hope it was nice to catch up with me today. I would love to hear how your month of June was, the ups and the downs, because that is real life, guys. Let me know as well if there are any of the makes that I made that you particularly liked. For me, easy winner is that Anthea blouse, but obviously I do really love the shirt that I made for my mom, and I really hope that she loves it as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please do give me a like if you enjoyed the video. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you want to see upcoming videos, and I'll be seeing you back here very soon. Bye!